I took a break from the LS swap world for a couple years, and during that time I put together a 560 wheel horsepower BMW 5 Series and a F33 Series B58 car with around mid 500 wheel horsepower. And I just recently got the urge to do another LS swap, so here's where that one begins. Got the original engine and transmission out of the F30, and check out the plan. This is a 99 LS1 E90 335 ZF 6-speed, and the transfer case off of this car, along with a adapter kit that we picked up from Drift HQ. So let's see if we can get it together. The car is a 2013 BMW 328 xDrive. Came with the turbo 4-cylinder N20 engine and 8 HP automatic transmission. I bought this car as a running and driving vehicle. It was a little high mileage, but I bought it specifically for the purpose of doing an LS swap. We got this LS1 11 or 12 years ago. This motor sat outside under a carport for the better part of a decade, so obviously we'll need to go through the motor, clean it up, and generally inspect it and see what needs to be taken care of. I knew I wanted to go with a manual transmission for this build. In the past, the T56 was the transmission I always went to, and maybe you've noticed the pricing for T56s are out of control right now. I also wanted to attempt to use the BMW all-wheel drive system, and going with a T56 adds some difficulty as far as a transfer case goes. Keeping that in mind, sticking with a BMW transmission and transfer case seems like a good solution. After doing a little bit of research, I found PMC Motorsports offers this adapter kit that will mate up a ZF 6-speed out of a E90 to a LS1. The E90 ZFs have a pretty good reputation of being a robust transmission, so I guess we'll just have to put that to the test. You probably noticed I didn't install a clutch during the assembly. I'm still researching which route to take, but at this point I'm just mocking it all up together to fit it in the car and come up with a plan for motor mounts. Now, you may have noticed at the beginning of the video there was an unnecessarily oversized turbo on the motor. That's a bullseye 80mm, and that is what I'm intending to put on. Yes, it's more than the car needs. I've built LS turbo cars for years. I've had cars making 1,000+ horsepower, and I chased those numbers on the dynos for my entire LS swap history. I always wanted to have a good number. I always had these goals for these power numbers, and I would chase them for years, and I would make the number, and it just didn't mean anything at that point. So this time I wanted to try something a little different, where I'm not really worried about what the power number is going to be. I am chasing fun. I want it to be interesting to look at. When you open the hood, I want it to be a surprise that it's got a turbo on it in general, that it's got an LS in it, and then the turbo is, much bigger than you would expect it to be. I imagine the car will still easily make plenty of power, 5, 6, 700 wheel on the lowest boost settings, and just be something fun, which is what my goal on this build is. All right, here it is in place. It's a little further forward than I was hoping. At this time, we're using the factory BMW transmission mount. The benefit of that is hoping that I can use a stock drive shaft. There is a possibility of modifying the mount and sliding it back. The good thing about it having a forward like this is that if you do need to service the transmission or clutch, you can get the bell housing bolts loose and get the transmission out. Pretty centered, pretty straight, lots of room on the steering shaft, lots of room on this side for exhaust. Now we just gotta make some mounts. You know we have to put the turbo in there and check it out. Clears the hood, looks great. Can't wait. Once I got the motor in place, I took some quick measurements and drew up some mounts in Fusion 360. I found a CAD model of an LS engine to verify the fitment of the mounts on the motor, and then I used my Bamboo Lab X1C to print a pair of mounts so I could test fit them on the car. Once the print checked out good, I had a shop laser cut and bend a set of mounts off my drawing, and then I threw those in to test fit. Test fit went really well. I'm really happy with how these fit together. Everything looks great, so I'm going to go ahead and tack weld them up. Here are the engine mounts, welded up and painted. They are 3/8 thick steel, fully welded, and a version of these are available for pre-order on streetdrivenindustries.com. Here's a look at the motor mounts in place. They utilize the factory BMW engine mount isolators. Keep in mind this setup uses the stock transmission mount location. So that means that the shifter lines up and the drive shaft can be reused. This will end part one of the build. I think I got quite a bit done. There's still a lot of questions left to be answered as far as the clutch and the engine management. I have a lot in mind and I expect a lot out of the car, so engine management is definitely going to take some time and research before I decide what to do with that. Part 2 will be adapting the manual transmission to work in the automatic transmission car, and will be the exhaust and turbo setup, which will include the manifolds, downpipe, turbo placement, making sure I can keep air conditioning, make sure that I can still work on the motor, like regular maintenance and spark plug changes, and making a full exhaust. I have no interest in a hood or fender exit, so having a full exhaust takes quite a bit more work, and that will be the plan for the next part. And with that, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope that you will consider subscribing so that you can easily catch the next video and keep following on the project. Thank you.